Hey, hope you're having an amazing day. Kitty's Creations here with another message on the restitution and the health and focus on mental health. So we have come to the end of the health with the focus on mental health. We will be going and revisiting health again towards the end, but this will be like medically. So we did have the mental health part and the history of it, and then we had the body and how that affected the body and everything or whatever. So like how that would really rest inside of a healthcare system, because mental health goes along with healthcare. Most things come from your mental health, and it's just unchecked. So we have really expanded and really explored what that means in America, what our role was in that atmosphere, and how we are moving in a whole nother direction with the restitution. So without any delay, let's go over the history, which brings us to our present day. This is present day 2020s. Today, mental health's increasing prioritization in public discourse, with growing emphasis on holistic care, trauma-informed approaches, and cultural competency. Teletherapy and mental health apps provide new avenues for support through challenges like provider shortages and affordability remain. Efforts continue to integrate mental health into primary care and reduce stigma further. Okay, so like I told you, with this modern day thing and Black people getting their own money and their own way of being healthy, we have infused healthcare with these new age ideas that they used to call witchcraft. These holistic things that we are doing now to heal our mental health, that would further heal our body, it was considered to be witchcraft back in the day. Honestly, openly, yes, they considered it to be witchcraft. If you at any point became vegan back then, you would be probably strung up for a witch, because that wasn't the way that the history of it was going. And if you wanted to cure yourself in the most healthiest of ways and people didn't know what that was, it was considered to be taboo. And when things are taboo and foreign, colonizers usually want to expel it as quickly as possible. They call that alien. And alien is used as a curse word. So they would do things to make sure people wouldn't get off the beaten path. Whatever path we are on, follow. The whole thing was for you to follow our path. Keep us comfortable. Wherever we are mentally, you need to be there with us. And don't go past us, and don't be too far behind us. We want you right where we are. And for generation upon generation upon generation, we had no choice into doing that. We were forced into doing that. And now we have a choice. And a lot of us are breaking out of it, but there needs to be much more. We need to awaken the masses on a very large scale. We need freedom and liberties for all. And by that I mean that all the stuff that's going on with the Constitution and them taking away democracy, all of that stuff should never even touch us. And you know why? Because we built it. Every single facet of this country that is of any importance, we built. Thank you, America. If you don't say it, I'll pat us on the back. And listen, reward with words isn't enough. So if I'm patting myself on the back, if I'm doing my victory lap and everything, I'm expecting my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. $2.9 million for every African American man, woman, and child. Free education that is quality. Judicial reform that doesn't keep us in chains and locked up. Financial literacy, so we can know what to do with that 2.9 million, and healthcare with the focus on mental health, so we can heal our communities and we won't keep running these cycles that are destructive and disruptive to the world around us. So we're going to get into the health part and how it shows up in your body. Long-term wear and tear over time, unmanaged mental health issues can contribute to accelerated aging, chronic inflammation, and higher risk of diseases like diabetes or autoimmune disorders. The mind and body are deeply connected, and meaning emotional distress often leaves a physical footprint. It can trigger conditions like Alzheimer's. Now remember, we didn't talk about heart disease, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, TMB, fibromyalgia, all of these things that you know you have seen in the Black community. It is not a mistake. These high set stress situations that we were put under and then birthed our next generation and next generation and next generation into are what we see in our communities because of slavery, because of the Jim Crow, and because of the controlling of the mind from there on out. You won't see a higher caliber of women dying from heart attacks and strokes than in the African American community. Diabetes, African American community. Fibromyalgia, African American community. These numbers skyrocket in with us because of the high stress environment that we were born into. Not that it's created now, born into. When you have cycles that have not been taken away, that have never been healed, that trauma has carried from century to century to century, it's the same thing as that story with the pot. And if you haven't heard it, I'm going to tell you, and then we're going to wrap this up. There is this story of the pot roast. And the sister asks, hey, how do you do this pot roast? And the sister says, okay, well, you just cut off both sides, put it in there, and, cover it and put vegetables, whatever. She told her to cut off both sides. And the sister says, that is strange. So I'm going to ask someone else. So then she asks another sister, and she tells her the same thing. And she says, okay. So then she goes to an aunt, and she says, well, how do you cook your pot roast? And she tells her, okay, just put it in a pot and cook it with the vegetables. And she said, wait a minute, you don't cut off the sides? And the aunt laughed. And she said, why are you laughing? And she said, the aunt said, because we don't do that anymore. That's something that grandma used to do because the pot she had was smaller, so she had to cut off the sides to be able to fit the roast in there. If you have a bigger pot, just put it in there. But do you see where these traumas have an unhealed mental health has led us to? Where you do things without knowing the reason why, and it's coming from a place of trauma. You were broke. You had no choice but to waste the meats. But nowadays you don't have to waste the meats. But you're wasted anyway because this is how you're taught. And once they have control over your mind, they have control over you. So, I digress. $2.9 million for every African American man, woman, and child. Thank you very much. Judicial reform so we're not put in chains again for any reason. Financial literacy so we can know what to do with that 2.9 million. Free quality education so we are not putting ourselves back in fear and change and in ignorance. And health with the focus on mental health, where we can heal these traumas and move forward in the most healthiest communities ever, and be able to be an asset to the people that are around us. I want to thank you for your time and your energy. Please like, share, and comment down below and let me know what you thought of this subject.